This is going to be different. Very different. Okay, before this Baboonery starts, I need to change something in the background. There's jump cut there, my walking distance. There's a poster here, can you see it? We've got Rob Carlisle, Kelly Hu, Vin Rames, the tournament. It's behind all this clutter and chaos. So that poster's always been there. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, that poster used to be dominant in the background before like when I had a problem. I mean that when I said I had a problem. Once when I used to be signed, I couldn't show any third-party content in my videos. That's another Baboonery rant altogether. The life before YouTube, when you were signing, you couldn't do shit. So anyway, this Baboonery is going to tiptoe around. I want to make stuff disappear. Shazam! What disappeared? Killian, did you know what disappeared? Okay, this Baboonery is going to be hard for me to talk about because I agreed with myself not to watch any footage and go, oh, remember that bit. I'm going to fucking wing it off memory except for a note I made. Bit of paper there with squiggles, lines. It's worse than the map. Now with Baboonery, I normally have a good thing and something normally happens for me to go, oh. And recently I've been making a one about mall walkers. I've already named it. Thought to myself, in my old age, I'm getting a bit picky and a little bit, oh, you just made the list. And then when I was thinking about it, I've got a story to tell, and it's like something recently has happened and sparked it, and I first thought, oh, that is amazing. And I thought, oh, you just made the list. Now I keep mentioning the list because this video is actually about Chris Jericho. It's time to touch cloth. Now I've been a big fan of Chris Jericho since he appeared on Raw. I knew who Chris Jericho was for WCW NWO Revenge. Amazing game. Haven't beat this, have they? Well, No Mercy was close. Yeah, No Mercy was close. Unbelievable games though. Chris Jericho was on both actually. Anyways, amazing wrestler, amazing entrance, one of the best debuts in WWE history. And recently I've been listening to a lot of fuzzy music, and also the whole Wrestle Kingdom things just happened as well. And this is where I've got a little bit of a story, and it's 100% true. And for the first time ever, I'm going to talk about the tournament. Some people will be going, what? Tournament? Other people are going to go, oh fuck. But this is nothing about the production, well, sort of is in a way. But this is a fun story that you're never going to hear anywhere else, except for me. Now, I was going to wear my tournament jacket. Sophia 2007. This is just a magnet for hairs. I've never been able to get the hairs off this thing. Oh, this lives in the cupboard. So if you didn't know, in 2007, I worked on the tournament, all the way in Bulgaria. Awesome time in my life. Hours and hours of footage filmed, never been seen. Now, I don't know the complications behind all the things what happened with the tournament, but I do have a story to tell. It's quite interesting, actually. It's so cold. So the tournament, basically every 7 years or every 10 years, depending on which script you read, assassins were gathered in this town and battling out till there was only one. There can only be one. Do not go on a Highlander rant right now. Should have only been one. So while they're fighting, people bet on who's going to win, who's the greatest assassin. And it's sort of a gambling thing. Great idea. Well before Condemned, Hunger Games, borrows a little bit from Battle Royale. But that's overall just the tournament. It all happens in an English town, and one of the biggest ensemble casts of Hollywood actors uprising and established. Now it all happens in Middlesbrough, but was all filmed in Bulgaria, except for a scene on the high street. A couple of scenes in Gateshead were filmed there. I do have the paper, the Evening Chronicle somewhere from years ago, but fuck that. Anyway, so we're in Bulgaria, it's hot, it's sweaty, the cast is great, and they had some big stars attached to it and some awesome cast in the film eventually. Now I don't know who was meant to play Gene Walker, who is the assassin at the start of the film, has a last fight off against Joshua in a slaughterhouse, which fucking stunk. Look at that, man. Just minging. It's a real slaughterhouse. It was absolutely minging. And this guy walks in, and basically Joshua's played by Vin Rames, who basically, what an awesome guy Vin Rames was. The first time I ever seen Vin Rames, right there, I was like, oh, there's Vin Rames. And then he looked at us and I was just like, it wasn't until like that day I actually met him. And he was like, oh, you're the one with the camera. I was just like, yeah, we'll just, oh, it's fine, sorry. He was an absolute awesome guy, huge guy, awesome. So anyway, he's fighting off against this Gene Walker character who comes in, and JJ Perry's lying on the floor shot. It's down to 3 people.
Shut up, no camera, please.
And they didn't have an actor. Once again, I don't know who was meant to play this actor, they just didn't have an actor. So guess who had to stand in for this actor? That's right, me. Now when I think about that now, it just blows my mind. Boom.
Fuck!
Just blows my mind that a bit. That was so loud as well, my ears still ring a little bit. But they didn't have an actor for it, so I was just filling in for the bits. But when you actually see the film, it's like work out which is me and which is the actor they eventually got. But who to get? Tournament has a massive cast: Vin Rames, Robert Carlyle, Kelly Hu, Scott Atkins was on the uprise, Sebastian Foucault, Ian Somerhalder, Craig Conway, Dustin, he was awesome, Dustin. Rachel Grant is in this as well, who will kick your ass with nunchucks. There is loads of people in it, and I mean, I am in this as I get killed by a carry bag. But I don't know what happened. Basically, it was a couple of days before the shoot. Now, the main shoot, and they didn't have an actor. Now, Jonathan, Nick, Scott, Keith, Mark, Dave all had great ideas of who can get at short notice. It was, to be fair, a very short, quick job. Fly to Bulgaria, a couple of days filming, drop right in the deep end and just go for it. And I was like, I've got an idea. Now, Dave Rutherford, one of the guys I met, known as Steady D on the tournament, who was an awesome guy.
His name is Dave. He's a steady cam operator. And his favourite word is fuckers.
I had some great nights out with him. He even phoned me mum one day when I left my phone. He was just like, hey, Stephen's mum. Just like, mum was like, who the hell is this? I was like, that's just Dave. He was an awesome guy. And he had just worked on a film. If you went down the side of the screen, Albino Farm. Still never seen that 10 years later. But he had just worked on that. Get rid of that. Now, at the time, Chris Jericho had left WWE and had been working on some independent movies. And I was like, Chris Jericho would be mint. You need somebody to walk in there and go, let's roll. They were walking in with an AK-47. I was stupid enough to stand in front of that thing firing. Oh, never do that again.
Oh, Mr. Harlow! Oh, what's the matter, Mr. Harlow? Are you out of bullets? Oh, well, let me help you. Here, have some of mine.
Mr. Harlow. So yeah, my idea was Chris Jericho, and I was thinking about, should I say anything? And they were really looking for somebody, and at one point The Rock was mentioned. I know what you're thinking now, The Rock. We're talking 2007. We're talking about The Scorpion King, which I do have on VHS somewhere, but we're talking about Kelly Hu was in The Scorpion King with The Rock, and she was like, he's probably available. But again, it's getting to Bulgaria for a couple of days and then off again. But I thought they would need a big actor for it. You know, someone walk in, bang, 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 bang. You know, Vin Rames is established as the motherfucking best assassin in the world. So my pitch was Chris Jericho, and I was like, Dave, Chris Jericho. Dave was like, yeah, Chris Jericho. And I was sitting outside, and Dave rang Chris Jericho, and I was sitting there, and I was like proper starstruck over the phone, because Dave was like talking, and I could hear Chris Jericho. I was like, fuck me. And Jericho was interested, just needed to know a little bit details. Dave was like, well, he's interested, and we went to the production truck about it. And my big pitch was, I thought by the time this film gets made, Chris Jericho will be back in wrestling. He had been out of wrestling for a while. And I thought, you know, the stars will align, you know what I mean, brick the walls down with this one. They looked at some photos of Chris Jericho. At the time, he did have big long hair. So that kind of fitted the role because the character did have long hair. But they decided to go with John Lynch. Now, John Lynch, when he turned up, was an awesome guy. He went right in the deep end, and he was a fucking pro, man. John Lynch is best known for The Secret Garden, In the Name of the Father, and is quite an established, still working strong British actor. I just said British, he might be Irish. I do apologise. Whoops. So he came in and filled in the gaps without me. Well, they didn't need me. Looking back now, can you imagine if I just walked in there? What the fuck? And the rest of the shoot went really well. It was an awesome shoot, as I say, it was very smelly. But I hate to be the one to say, I told you so. Now, there was a massive gap from filming the tournament to the tournament coming out in the UK. I went to the premiere, or the cast screening really, in England, and it was a long time later. I actually bought this version, this is the American version, Death by Elimination tournament in LA, and it was over a year later that this came out in the UK. Now the boxes are totally different. The American one kicks ass: Vin Rames, Kelly Hu, Robert Carlyle, Sebastian Foucault, Ian Somerhalder. I think that looks a bit like a cross between me and Gene Walker. John Lynch, he's got the long coat on there. Could be Nick, but yeah. And then you've got Scott Atkins on the side. On the back though, you do have Vin Rames holding a massive machine gun that he does not have in the film. I'm sorry, but he doesn't, ever. But it's a pretty awesome cover. It's got the American thing. Whoa, look at that. It's another £20 note from the ballroom. Yeah. Keep forgetting that's in there. Let's go to the next one. Don't ever lose it. So that was the American edition. Now, by the time it came out in England, everyone had downloaded it. Unbelievable. Everyone was talking about it. Should have had a UK release first. The cover, though, when it came out over here, Robert Carlyle, Kelly Hu, Ian Somerhalder is added on the box in this weird ass app. He's not there, is he? He's just been added there, and he's wearing a Holden coat. He's wearing Holden coat. He's wearing a coat that he doesn't wear in the film, and holding guns that he doesn't have in the film. Okay. But Ian was rolling high off. It was hit massive with Vampire Diaries at that point, so it makes sense to have him on the box. But Scott Adkins, Sebastian Foucault, the cast now that they had in here in small roles are massive, and Scott Adkins is huge, you know. But yeah, there's no extra features on it. Now Chris Jericho kept popping up in films like this mental film, and basically, what I was saying before when I said I told you so was by the time the tournament came out, Chris Jericho had returned in the WWE. Chris Jericho, at the time the tournament came out, was World Heavyweight Champion, having one of the best heel runs of his career. Can you imagine that? Imagine if the tournament had dropped with Chris Jericho in as he was champion. Wow. It was my perfect vision. The production company were like, he's totally crazy. It's probably why the footage never been released. What did he do? So yeah, the only thing they really did listen to me is have Laconia actually on the soundtrack, which was awesome. So this is a brand new Baboonery. It's a step in a different direction. Using the past to fill in a few gaps of just mentalism. But I just wanted to do this one where I'm like sort of telling the story, mentally telling the story, without me sort of like looking at a situation and getting a bit stressed about it by going, why is this person walking in front of me? Why is this person not indicating? Why is this person just going, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realise you were going to turn because you were on a mobile phone. Yeah, that Baboonery, I was just going to start getting really frustrated about people in front of us. I was making a list. I had loads. Honestly, I had loads. I made a list about this. Families walking in hand, like in a big conga line. We're here in the mall. It's our time. You can't get past them. Oh, it drives my nuts. You just made the list. Walking out of the shops and not looking left or right, and then suddenly stopping, and then deciding while you're walking towards them, and you're like, and they look at you like you're a dick. People on phones, either walking, talking, or dickhead, I'll be with. Another one. People with shopping trolleys is becoming a new one in malls. Oh yeah, 5 pence for a bag. Fuck that, I'll just take the trolley shopping. The same go with buggies. I mean, child buggies. Have you seen them? They've got like a shopping trolley, then a buggy and a kid, and they're about this long, and they're like, turning wide load. Oh, I've just knocked that over. Them motherfucking things should have indicators. People eating food. People looking at maps. I'm sure I had a map. I'm sure I even went out and found a map. I mean, the list just goes on there. FaceTime, that's the new one. People on Pokemon Go, all people. No disrespect to all people, but they're like. I started that list and then thought about something different, so yeah. So hi to everyone I worked with in the tournament. Have you seen this? Shape of things to come for 2018, I guess. This is Baboonery. Baboonery. 4. Dear. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. So here's an outtake for my Chris Jericho tournament video as I found my newspaper. This is the Evening Chronicle from Wednesday, the 17th of October 2007. Wow! On the front cover, Robert Carlyle, When Hollywood Comes to Gateshead. See page 3. My action, man. Well, it does have a bit of action in there. Why Hollywood star walks tight streets, and it's a big synopsis of the film. Robert Carlyle signed autographs as well. Robert Carlyle was awesome. A lot of cherry pickers and all that. It's very blurred and pixelated. It just looks like more. I don't think there's a Mark McQueen there or Scott Mann. It's all about Robert Carlyle being in there. And Grant Resigns is page 2. But yeah. So nothing like mentally sticking out there. We haven't touched an whole newspaper, but yeah, kept it because of that. I wasn't there because I was actually away in another country, but that's a different story, isn't it? Thanks for watching. I don't want to lack this up.